Hi, this is Alex Mitchell with the Go Tech Yourself channel, and today we are talking about the top 10 Corona economy startups. What is the Corona economy? We'll talk about that and we'll dive into some of the startups that are certainly a part of it over the course of this video. So, first, that's me, Alex Mitchell. I'm the Chief Product Officer of a company called ICX Media. You can find me on Twitter. I write a lot about topics like this on Medium. In the startup space, in the product space, you'll find me. Also publish a newsletter, and I have a couple books about product and what I've called the new economy out there on Amazon. So please check those out, and please also subscribe to this channel and like this video. I'm trying to get it off the ground, and I really appreciate it. Every subscription helps me produce more content like this. So thank you very much, and we will jump in. So this Corona economy term. So, if you're living through the coronavirus, which pretty much everyone in the world is right now, you'll notice that it's pushing many, many changes on us. And the first kind of thought is that, these changes might be temporary. Once this virus goes away, those changes will go away. But in reality, these changes are major, and in my mind, in many people's mind out there, they are actually permanent. So things like remote work, travel changes, on-demand services, video conferencing, education. Many of these things existed before, but the Corona economy has kind of shown us that, we're learning new behaviors, we're putting many more people on these tools. It's unlikely that it's going to be like flipping a light switch and people are going to unlearn those behaviors and go back to the way things were before. So these are permanent changes, many of them. And the Corona economy kind of focuses on these different startups that operate in these space. And so that's what we're focusing on today is really a list of 10 startups that are poised to succeed, or actually might already be really succeeding in kind of this new normal, this Corona economy, as we're calling it here. So let's jump right into the list, and I'm going to walk through these companies. I'm going to tell you why I think they're succeeding or going to succeed in this new Corona economy, and why you should really keep an eye on them and companies like them over the coming months. So the first company is Blueberry Pediatrics. So you're probably familiar with telehealth companies, Doctor on Demand, for example. These have been around for a while. You may have even used a few. But what I really like about Blueberry Pediatrics is they focus, given their name, on just child health care. So if you're a parent, especially if you're a first-time parent right now, you can definitely empathize with this problem where, your kid has a rash or has a fever for, more than 24 hours. You maybe don't want to overreact, but you really don't know. Is this something I should be worried about? Is this something that will just go away? You really have a bunch of questions and not really, great answers. You're probably not going to trust WebMD, with your child's health, especially as a first-time parent. And so what people mostly do is they go to urgent care or they go to the emergency room, and those range from hundreds up to sometimes over $1,000 for just that visit that you might learn. You know what? He just has to, or she has to sleep it off. And so Blueberry Pediatrics steps in here to solve that problem by offering a subscription service for only $15 a month, where you have access to certified pediatricians. You're able to send them pictures, videos, texts, even jump on a video chat with them if you need it, and really, determine, is this something that I have to go and go to the emergency room for, or is my child going to be okay, and we can just check in a few times over the next couple days. So, kind of putting this together in the Corona economy, telehealth has become immensely more popular. No one wants to go into a doctor's office anymore. It's up by hundreds of a percent, and Blueberry is up, a similar amount, I would imagine, because of this great need for, kind of information for parents and kind of children's health. So Blueberry Pediatrics, first company to keep an eye on in the new Corona economy. Second one, completely different industry. We're going to kind of jump around a lot of different industries here. So get ready, buckle in. Todger. So Tadger is inventory management for mom and pop stores in Pakistan. So you may be surprised, as I was when I started doing research for this post and came across Tadger, that Pakistan is the sixth most populous country in the world. Definitely surprising to me. And what's really interesting is these mom and pop stores are responsible for close to 95% of retail traffic in Pakistan. So they don't have the big Walmarts or Costco's, at least at the same scale that we do in the United States. You have all these mom and pop stores, so more like a bodega on the corner. And those stores today, are small, and they really are struggling with just inventory management. They have to rely on dozens of different services that they order from. They often have to wait weeks for delivery from those services, and even on top of that, they only learn about the prices for what they've bought, after weeks when it gets delivered. I mean, it's a completely crazy system that exists today, and has largely existed because Pakistan has been slow to adopt a lot of different forms of technology that have caught on faster in other parts of the world. For example, smartphones and high-speed internet available on those phones. Well, now that over the past couple of years, those trends have started picking up with very affordable Android smartphones, 3G service in major cities in Pakistan. And so Tadger steps in and they solve many, if not all of those problems. So first, an app where you can buy thousands of different goods for your store. Priced, of course, directly in the app as you'd expect. And then on top of that, they offer next day delivery. So no longer are these mom and pop stores, stocked out of inventory. They're able to react to customer demand. They're able to buy the exact amount they need to react to that demand and to get the delivery the next day. So a huge jump up on Tadger here. And why they're in this list in the new Corona economy is because they've been ruled an essential service, as have those mom and pop stores. So they're experiencing big surges in demand, as you'd expect, and they are, universally better than the solution they're replacing. As people are unable to kind of communicate with all of those different wholesalers, unable to wait weeks for, critical supplies that are needed in communities during these times of lockdown, Tadger has stepped in and been, a savior for many of these mom and pop stores, providing them kind of that regular access to inventory. So Tadger poised to succeed in this new Corona economy. Third, we have a company called Farmstead. So you're probably familiar with companies like Peapod potentially for grocery delivery. Instacart has become very, famous in the Corona economy here for delivery. But fundamentally, those companies still have shoppers that go into grocery stores and pick items off the shelf for you. So it takes them, all the time of, walking through a store, going all the way to the back for the milk, for example, going all the way to the bread section for bread. Grocery stores are not logically organized for online ordering. And so that's where Farmstead comes in, is they have an AI powered inventory that may be smaller than your grocery store, but is much more nimble, much more reactive, much quicker to pack when someone places an order. And so what I've called this is the kind of next generation of grocery delivery. So really a lot of investment. You think of how Amazon's invested massively in logistics. Farmstead's bringing that type of approach to grocery delivery. So focus on the logistics side, not the human shopper, in your brick and mortar large grocery store. And because of that, they're able to offer really fresh, really local, really fast, free deliveries of groceries. So, kind of win, 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 win across the board with Farmstead, with this kind of new approach that flips grocery delivery on its head. So keep an eye on Farmstead, especially during the Corona economy when many more people are ordering their groceries from home. So let's jump into education. Another thing that's been completely turned upside down in the Corona economy, where no children are going to school anymore, and parents have, in many cases, become the teachers. So Monty Kids offers Montessori educational toys delivered to your home. So they have a quarterly toy subscription box for 0 to 3-year-olds. that are kind of age appropriate, delivered at that right developmental stage. And then they pair those toys with a mobile app curriculum that the parent or caregiver can follow and help, their child interact with those toys. So, if you have a child in the 0 to 3 age, definitely consider checking out Monty Kids. These are, as they mentioned on their, website here, kind of time-tested toys, things that aren't new fads, but have been working for generations of children. So get these toys, try Monty Kids, and kind of keep your child entertained, growing, learning during this Corona economy. 54 Gene is a incredibly interesting company based in Africa. And so, over the past 5 years to maybe a decade, we've seen the rise of interest and consumer available genetic solutions in the United States. So things like 23andMe or Ancestry.com have become incredibly popular and have given us, tremendous insights, and our scientists tremendous insights into the human genome. Has given pharmaceutical companies tremendous insights. But the fundamental problem is that, more than 90% of genetic material that's available for pharmaceutical research is Caucasian. That is clearly not representative of the percentage of Caucasians worldwide. So you have a really biased sample there, and really only 2% has been African. So that was really the founding mission of 54 Gene, is to solve this problem, collect more DNA, unlock, the DNA power of the African genome. And so, with this great focus on healthcare and genetics in this new Corona economy that we're in, I really see 54 Gene accelerate even more. Accelerate even more to help with genetic conditions that disproportionately affect Africans, especially. There's so many opportunities here. If we can map the genome and, kind of gather as much genetic material as we have on Caucasians for the African population. So I'm really excited with what 54 Gene is doing overall here, but in the Corona economy, where we focus even more on healthcare and genetics, 54 Gene is even more well positioned for the coming years here. Let's jump to Europe. So we talked about telehealth before, and I really like this company, Cry, in Europe, KRY. They've shared some of the stats that are just remarkable since the beginning of this Corona economy, where they're seeing downloads and consultations up, almost doubling since the beginning of the coronavirus. And, people actually doing consultations for viral symptoms, up by more than 240%. So no surprises, but it just kind of shows the magnitude of increases in downloads and use of telehealth apps. So what I would say is, obviously watch Cry, but watch any other telehealth apps here. We talked about Blueberry Pediatrics, but these companies are not going to see, people leave them in dramatic numbers after the end of the coronavirus here. People are going to establish these behaviors where they start doing their doctor appointment online. They start doing video check-ins. They're not going to run right back to the doctor's office. They'll only save that for, more severe conditions, more critical interactions with the doctor. All of the basics and kind of check-ins for both physical and mental health will really take place, over telehealth, doctor on demand style. It's unlikely that people go back. So Cry is well positioned in this Corona economy and beyond. So similar in health, but moving over to the mental space, is a company called Talkspace. So Talkspace is a pretty big startup at this point. You may have seen some of their commercials with Michael Phelps, but what they do is they offer online therapy with trained professionals. So whether you want to talk with them over video or text message, you have access to people to talk about, mental health issues at pretty reasonable rates. So around $65 a week. And we know in the Corona economy, many people are experiencing unemployment, stress with families, stress with health, stress with children. So, Talkspace fits very well into this new Corona economy. Once people, start kind of trying Talkspace or finding that support that they need, someone really to talk to, it's unlikely that they jump right back to that, psychiatrist's office, the couch there. It's likely that at least for a decent portion of their mental health needs, they lean more on a company like Talkspace. So keep an eye out on Talkspace. Keep a watch out for how their user numbers increase if they publish those. But really, people in the mental health and health space in general are well positioned in this Corona economy, as really just people need them a lot more, and prefer this way of interaction instead of direct in office in person interaction. Similar to Talkspace, Calm operates in the mental health space, but instead of messaging kind of licensed counselors or chatting with them, they offer a suite of self-service kind of meditation, sleep management, stress reduction techniques and sounds that can help you really manage the stress of coronavirus and manage quarantining with others, or just having a much crazier house than you're used to. So, Com hasn't published any numbers here, but I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that they've experienced probably massive increases in downloads, and also probably people upgrading to their paid offerings during this new Corona economy. They're just well positioned, especially for millennials and Gen Z, who put more of a emphasis on mental health and well-being, on stress management. Calm is the de facto app in this space. So they are very well positioned as a startup in the Corona economy. Jumping to another completely different industry and off of that health topic is Elroy Air. Pretty sure you haven't heard of this one, but they do autonomous drone deliveries. They've signed a few government contracts. They're doing deliveries for a few commercial outlets as well. And what they've built is really just a completely autonomous drone infrastructure. And you can see these are not consumer drones. These are drones that can carry up to 500 pounds, fly 300 miles, take off vertically, fly horizontally like a plane. But what's really cool is how they built this entire autonomous infrastructure. So, these Elroy Air drones are able to actually load and unload themselves completely autonomously. So in the world of contactless payments, deliveries, everything contactless, Elroy Air actually fits really well. So when they're delivering things like emergency medical supplies, emergency provisions, they're able to do that all contactless, right? On both ends, on the pickup and the drop off, they can do it without human touch, without any risk of a coronavirus or other virus spreading. And so Elroy Air obviously is a great service to have, in today's world with the coronavirus, but will be incredibly valuable in the future for reaching remote areas with medical supplies or just other critical supplies very quickly and completely without human interaction. And then the last one here on our list is Chipper Cash. So Chipper Cash is a company I've been watching for a couple of years now. Originally, the model was kind of a Venmo for Africa. They've definitely expanded since there, offer a bunch more or much more solutions than just kind of simple peer-to-peer money transfers. And they've also expanded now to serve 7 African countries. And it's probably highly likely they continue to expand there. And so Chipper Cash is bringing that, kind of tried and true concept of what Venmo and other companies have succeeded in other parts of the world to Africa, where you deal with many other challenges, where mobile wallets are actually how people, can pay for things a lot or use it much more frequently, or, can kind of pay their bills with Chipper Cash as well. And so, check out Chipper Cash, learn a little bit more, and it's pretty obvious, but in this new Corona economy, it's incredibly important for things to be contactless, right? You don't want to go into a Western Union and send money and have to deal with all those people. You'd rather open up an app, hit a few buttons and transfer money to family, friends, to pay your bills. That's really become an essential service. And Chipper's grabbed a lot of market share in Africa even in the past couple of years, but this coronavirus is going to let them find a lot more brand new users who really are looking for this more frictionless, contactless way of payments and transfers that they've pioneered and they've really done a great job of building on. So I'm sure, only covered kind of 10 startups here. I'm sure I missed a few very successful Corona economy startups. And so, now that you're familiar with the Corona economy, let me know which ones I missed in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. I'd love to see those companies. I'd love to learn more about them. So thanks for listening. Again, this was a Go Tech Yourself production. You can find more again from me in these places. And if you didn't click subscribe yet, please do. I really appreciate this. Share this with friends, coworkers, family, people you're quarantining with. I really appreciate it. It helps me keep producing content like this. Thank you.